Welcome to Sitting in the Hot Seat with Belinda, your host. Today on Sitting in the Hot Seat, I have a special young lady. Her name is Ashley Collins. She's going to be sitting in the hot seat today. Hey, good morning.
Good morning. Hi.
How are you?
Good, good. How are
I'm
you?
good. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
So, everybody, Ashley is playwright and creator of the Breakup Diaries vlog series on YouTube and Instagram. Ashley is a tireless advocate for mental health and social justice. She uses her platform to highlight her personal experiences with heartbreak and self-love while simultaneously promoting a broad range of voices, including up-and-coming leaders, musicians, business owners, and thinkers internationally. Thank you, Ashley, for coming on this morning.
Thank you for that intro. Make me seem like someone important.
You're a superstar. You're a superstar. You about to show them right now because you sitting on the hot seat. Yes, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so tell me about yourself. You're in an interview. Tell me about yourself.
Well, my name is Ashley Collins, obviously on the resume. I went to Florida State University where I got my undergrad in theater. Post there, I went to New York and I did some interning at some various theaters across the city. And then post there, I worked in theme parks. And what I've been doing for the past 5 years is working in restaurants. And what I love about working in restaurants is that face-to-face connection that you meet with every guest. Not every guest is going to be the same, but
Right.
I enjoy that challenge very much well. So that's a little bit about me.
Okay, excellent. So you work in different restaurants, so you've had different bosses. Tell me what makes
Yes.
a good boss.
I think the sign of a good leader is someone who eats last. A sign of a good leader is someone who actively listens to you when you have a concern, and they listen to your whole concern and try to adapt it for everyone. Because if one person has a concern, someone else might be thinking it,
Right.
and they're just too afraid to speak up. So I think that's a sign of a good boss.
Have you had good bosses or good leaders? Have you?
I've had some great bosses.
Excellent.
I was just saying the other day, my first boss, I was working as a teenager at Long John Silver's, and I will never, ever, ever forget her. I'm a teenager. I have poor work ethic. I talk back, but she was so gentle and ease me in that this is how the workforce works. And she really set me up for success for the rest of my life now.
Excellent. It's amazing. It's amazing how a good boss, you always remember. A good leader, you always remember that person, that one person. So on the flip side of that, what makes a bad boss or bad leader?
Oh, a bad leader is someone when there's something going wrong, you can't find them because they're hiding. And I've experienced that before. It got to the point where we all of us, employees, co-workers, we just learned how to take care of each other without them being there. So, which sounds so backwards, but we made it work.
Y'all made it work? Okay. Mm-hmm. You brought up co-workers and teammates. So what makes a good co-worker? In your opinion, what makes a good co-worker?
A good coworker is someone who's not only there for you mentally, like they can read your mind when you need something, but they're also there for you emotionally as well. When those days when you're on your 14th shift in a row, they're there to encourage you. They're there to make you laugh. They're to say, hey, why don't you go have a seat? I'll take care of this for a little bit, and then come right on back. It's like it's like LeBron and Dwayne, right? Or Wade, right? On your off days, I'm gonna take care of you. On my off days, I know that you're gonna be able to take care of me.
Right. So what makes a bad one?
A bad teammate is someone who's always complaining. Mm-hmm. That's I mean, of course, not every job is perfect. Like I said, you're gonna have your bad days, but it's just everyone's feeling that way. But it's our job to lift each other up. No one wants to hear a Debbie Downer 8 hours a day.
Right. That's right. Have you ever worked in a toxic work environment?
Oh, yes.
How did you take care of yourself in that environment?
I'm not sure if this is the right answer or not, but
Whatever you
I
say is the
chose
right answer.
I chose not to participate in everyone was like toxic bonding with each other. So I would just come in, head down, do my job, and clock out.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think that it's so hard to be successful in a toxic environment?
I don't. Well, I read something the other day that the average small business lasts 11 years, I think, and I think that you might have great product, you might have really really great product, but if your team is unpleasant, the customer's not going to want to come back.
Mm-hmm.
So it's less about the product. It's more about like we're here for the guest. And
Right.
if they don't want to see your faces because you're so rude, you're so unpleasant to be around. Like if me, your teammate, sees that you're unpleasant to be around, the guest is going to see that too. So, yeah.
So customer service is important. That's part of what you're saying. If the customers can see that it's negative here, they wouldn't want to shop here or buy your products.
Mm-hmm.
What makes good customer service?
Remembering people's names and faces.
Okay.
I
Are you good
love
at
calling
that?
people, but I'm really good at that. Yeah. I can name several people right now at the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
I find that it makes them feel comfortable, makes them feel at home. It's not that your guest number 1441 today. No, it's like, hey
Right.
Tom, how you doing? Like, you were working on that one project. How is that going? Remembering stuff
Right.
about people.
How do you do that? How do you remember people details? Because it's one thing to say, "Hey, Tom," but to remember the project. How do you do that for yourself when you?
I
Cause you said you're
give
good at
them like celebrity names.
Okay.
Or like famous names. Like one of my guests, his name is Theo. So when I first met him, I literally said, "Oh, Theo, like Theodore Roosevelt." So now I always remember that's Theodore Roosevelt.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So that way you can relate. That's good. That's good. That's excellent. So let me ask you this. A lot of people hate this question, so I'm throw it out there. Tell me your strengths and your weakness as far as working.
I will start off with the with the tough one. My weakness. My weakness is that I think I can do everything. Mm-hmm. And I have a tendency to overwhelm myself, and I don't ask for help. Mm-hmm. And I need to get better at asking for help. Whereas that my strength is I'm always there. I'm always going to show up. I want to be the last person there. If you need someone at the last minute, I'm that person to call.
Mm-hmm. Because you're going to be there. You're dependable.
Mm-hmm.
They can count on you.
Yes.
How do you work in an environment where you can't count on people?
Oh, pace yourself. Pacing myself, making sure that I don't overwhelm myself too much, and also there is always like that one or two go-to people who I know I can rely on. It may not be the whole entire staff, unfortunately, but those one or two people I know, hey, if I slide you $10, can you do this for me? And or sometimes I don't even have to offer them money. They just do it because they know that I'll do it for them.
Right. Is working on a great team important to you?
It's immensely so important. Mm-hmm. I think that I'm right now in life, it's probably just a phase, but right now I'm very much so about environment. Like I just want to be in a positive, thriving environment. And I find that helps get me up in the morning. Like, I love working. I know that people like look at me like I'm crazy whenever I say that, but I do enjoy working ever since I was a teenager. I love the fact that I didn't need to ask my mom for money anymore. Like I like the fact that I was getting rewarded for working hard. And I actually enjoyed going to my job. I enjoyed looking at my coworkers' faces. I enjoyed looking at the guests, And if I'm in an environment where no one else feels the same way, I'm like, what's the point of me being here then? Because I could use my gifts somewhere else.
That's right. That's exactly right. So you're hiring. what would be the ideal candidate to work for you?
Open availability. I find that people tend to lie about their availability. So that's that's going to be the first question right away. Um, someone who's dependable, someone who has experience in the field, and if they don't, then someone who's trainable. And I think that that's not something you're really taught. I think how to be trainable, how to be flexible, you know. Depending on what school you went to, you know, like some schools don't teach you Microsoft Office applications. You know, like my school never taught me that.
Right.
But I'm willing to learn. You know, I'll go to watch a YouTube video and I'll learn how to do it in order to do the job the right way.
Right.
So I think those are important qualities.
And what type of leader would you be?
I'd be the type of leader that did less talking and did more action.
Okay. Okay. And what type of teammate are you?
I like to think that I'm that teammate that if you need something, if you need anything, Ashley will do it. Ashley will, I don't even have to ask her twice. Or sometimes, like, I didn't even need to ask her. She already knew that I needed that. I like to think that I'm that kind of teammate.
Because you feel like you're proactive. I call it reading the room. You can kind of come in and kind of see what needs to be done and can just do it without anybody saying anything. I like to think that I can do that. I may not be able to read personalities, but I can definitely read the room. Excellent, excellent. So, how everybody give Ashley some love? She made it through the hot seat. She didn't know what questions I was gonna ask. She had no idea. Show us some love today in here. Ashley, tell them about yourself and tell them how they can get in contact with you.
So like she was saying, I do have a blog called The Breakup Diaries on the YouTube. If not, you can also check out my Instagram, The Aunt of Dragons. It is a Game of Thrones reference, and I do something. Hey Bella, hey girl. But and I do interviews similar to this. It's not job interviews, but we talk about life, culture, etc., etc. And I'd love, pop in and say hi to me.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much, Ashley, for coming on the show. And everybody follow Ashley. Give her love. You're hired. I would hire you. So you made it through the
Really?
You're hired.
I need a good job.
Thank you so much, Ashley. I do appreciate it.
Thank you, girl. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
You
bye-bye.
too.